Hi, and welcome to our first engineering challenge. When I was a kid, I was interested in spies and espionage, and my friends and I would go ahead and get different ciphers and learn how to go ahead and pass them back and forth to each other. And in that way, we were kind of living the excitement of spying. Now, during the time that I grew up, it was, towards the middle end of the Cold War, where the United States and the Soviet Union were at a simmering peace. And there were stories about spies in the news all the time. And one of the things about that was when a spy got information or needed to pass information on to the people they were working for, or to go ahead and get information sent to that spy, they didn't have the internet. They couldn't go ahead and get into an encrypted chat room or anything like that. They couldn't even go ahead and put it on small SD cards that they could sneak around. They would have to figure out ways to go ahead and pass physical information onto one person or another. Couple of the ways that they would do that is, number one, they do what were called live drops. And live drops were where two people would just basically meet and pass information. The second type of way that people would do it is something called a dead drop. And a dead drop is simply going ahead and hiding a piece of information or the material that you're sending in a known location where anybody can go to. And then when the spy is wanting to go ahead and either drop the information off or pick information up, they would go to that area and find the hidden location. What we're going to be doing today is discussing a way and designing a way for us to be able to hide things in plain sight. So if you guys come with me, I'm going to go ahead and show you the process of how I went about and design my dead drop, and hopefully you guys can go ahead and start designing yours as well. We're going to use the Stanford School of Design process. First, we're going to empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and finally test. The first step of the design process is empathize. We're going to learn about our audience that we're designing for, and we're going to observe what they need. Our question is going to be, who is my user and what matters to this person? So in this situation, the audience is me. I'm a spy, and I'm trying to go ahead, and what matters is that I do not get caught and turned into the authorities. Define is basically going ahead and identifying the client's needs. What my needs are is that I need to be able to successfully hide an object in basically an urban setting that other people can go ahead and come by every single day and not actually notice that it is a hiding spot and find my message. Also, I need to successfully be able to hide it easily and be able to retrieve it easily as well. Next step that I did was the ideate phase. The ideate phase is where I brainstormed and I came up with a variety of ideas. To do this, I went on Google Images and typed in dead drop and did a variety of searches, and also went ahead and watched some YouTube videos to get some idea about what spies needed.
Gentlemen.
As I went through different ideas and I brainstormed, I finally decided that I was going to go ahead and do something called a spike drop, which is basically a spike that is hollowed out. And that led me next to go ahead and start doing my prototypes. At first, I figured out that I was going to go ahead and try to use a combination of resources that I had. Specifically, I found some PVC pipe in my garage that I could use, and also I had access to Fusion 360 and a 3D printer. So by doing that, I decided to first go ahead and design my object on a piece of paper. I primarily did this because I didn't want to go ahead and have to go back and forth between the computer and my garage. And also having a good visual representation, a good drawing, goes ahead and saves a lot of mistakes before you start working. I went ahead and created a cone, hollowed out the cone, created a cylinder that would work, and then printed that onto my 3D printer. It took me a couple of tries, but I finally got the measurements exact enough that I could friction fit all the pieces together. And then using a little bit of super glue, I went ahead and permanently glued the cone, the cylinder, and the actual PVC pipe together. Once I had my device actually assembled, I decided to go out and do the last phase of the design process, which is testing. and I went into my yard and basically pushed it into the ground to see how well it would work, and immediately started finding out some challenges, which led me back to the prototyping piece. One of the challenges that I found was that the cap, when I pressed it into the ground, actually got jammed so far onto the tube that I couldn't pull it out without using channel locks and pliers. So I went ahead and decided a simpler way was the way that I actually put it into the ground. I'd first go ahead and press the main tube into the ground, and then I'd go ahead and seal it with the end cap. Another thing that I noticed was that my cap tended to go ahead and stand out. It was white in the green grass. So I went ahead and I got a little bit of spray paint that I had left over, and I spray painted it a flat black. And the last thing that I noticed was it was really hard to get it out of the ground. So what I did is I designed a lanyard out of a little bit of parachute cord and drilled a couple of holes into the main PVC pipe so that when we found the actual item, you could pull on the parachute cord and actually pull that out of the ground and retrieve your message. There's a few other things that I'm looking at this that I might want to change a little bit later. I think maybe getting a thinner PVC pipe would work. Also, I might want to go ahead and try to paint it green instead of black, but I had a limited amount of supplies and black was the best I could actually get at the time. So after going back through three or four times, testing it and repeating it, I finally got my finished piece, and I'm pretty happy with it. So here's your challenge. Go ahead and do some research. Go through empathizing, going and defining, ideate, brainstorm, and then prototype and test a few times. Now, this could be something as simple as, depending on the time that you have, that you never get to the actual manufacturing stage. If you just want to go ahead and do this on some graph paper and do a good drawing and go through a couple of iterations of drawing in that way, that's fine. You're going through the process. If you have more resources and you have access to a shop, or you want to go and design something with household items, I really encourage you to do so. When you're done, go ahead and follow the instructions to figure out how to actually go ahead and upload and share your final project. Good luck. I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with, and take care.